Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as it concerns Spencer Dinwiddie picking his next destination for free agency, and that is Los Angeles. That's right. Spencer Dinwiddie, a native in Los Angeles, grew up in Los Angeles, is picking his next destination is Los Angeles, and he's picking between the Lakers or the LA Clippers. Now, guys, this report comes in from Facebook. I mean, I got it from my source from Facebook. I just clicked on Facebook to see what's going on in social media, and for some reason I saw my first post I saw was Spencer Dinwiddie destination, and that is the Lakers or the LA Clippers. And I find it very fascinating that he is saying that if the money is not there, if he doesn't get the money that he wants, he will decide to take his talents to Los Angeles, either picking the LA Clippers or the Los Angeles Lakers. And guys, I find this report very fascinating because Spencer Dinwiddie is one of those type of players that you would really, really want on your team. Now, even though he suffered, I believe, an ACL injury last season with the Brooklyn Nets, that basically took him out of the season. It was very sad to see him go down like this, because he's the type of player that you obviously need to have on your team because he's a shooter. Okay, let's just put that out there. I mean, the guy is a 40% three-pointer as a player of his caliber. He's a good shooter. I mean, he's very accurate when it comes to shooting those threes, and we witnessed that every time we went up against him. And even before KD and I believe maybe it was Kyrie Irving, but I think Kyrie Irving was there in 2016. Actually, no, my mistake. It was Spencer Dinwiddie, and he was just really the type of guy that they really relied upon. In the beginning, he was more of the number one option in 2016, but then KD came in, Kyrie Irving, and then James Harden. His role basically diminished, and he got injured, and now he just is now going to be a free agent this offseason, and it just looks like right now that he is picking between two things: his worth and his destination. Now, it sort of remains to be seen about the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, he's still a possibility if the money is there and he, agrees with the money that he is willing to take. Then he will probably, go back to the Brooklyn Nets. But it's all indications are showing that the Brooklyn Nets are willing to, make Dinwiddie happy to the point that we can trade you to a destination of your choosing. And that kind of goes into a little bit of a territory there when it comes to, the Lakers or the LA Clippers, because, they're going to be hard capped if somehow they want to do a sign and trade deal with the Brooklyn Nets for Spencer Dinwiddie. And, the idea of that, potentially happening, like I mentioned, is going to be kind of risky. That's why I personally think that the Lakers should pursue Spencer Dinwiddie as a free agent. If he's just a free agent and just looking around for the right price, and if he doesn't find it, he may just take his talents to his home state, California, city of Los Angeles, and just take his talents there. I mean, I think that's just the best opportunity for the Lakers to do. You can just sign him for a mid-level exception, somewhere around like 9 to maybe 15 million, somewhere around that point. I mean, I know he wants to get paid somewhere around $23 or maybe possibly $30. $30 million. Man, if only life was that easy. So when it came down to it, guys, that type of decision making has to be in effect when it comes to Rob Pelinka and his decision of signing players this off season. And the Lakers are not doing pretty well when it comes to cap wise. Okay, they can only offer players around like $5 to maybe $10 million. I mean, they can go a little bit further, around 12 to 15. as like that mid-level exception. But at the end of the day, the Lakers are not going to be really spending a lot of money because they're going to be focusing on bringing back their own players like Alex Caruso, THT, possibly, with Dennis Schroeder if he, somehow they can work out a deal and just re-signs with the Los Angeles Lakers. But all indications are showing that maybe he will either move on with the Lakers and just sign somewhere else, or if he agrees with the Lakers for a sign and trade type of scenario, then maybe it would end up that way. And Kyle Kuzma, he's going to be moving on. He's going to be traded. So expect that to happen maybe in the next couple of weeks. Still remains to be seen what's the destination. I gave you guys my own thoughts and opinions when it comes to the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma and the type of trade scenarios. But, it just sort of depends on the Lakers' mindset and what they want to do. So we just have to wait and see about that certain results of the Lakers. But, Spencer Dinwiddie, as I mentioned, he's just one of those type of players that you have to have on your team. He's a great shooter, and, he just brings that mentality to just, defend to the best of his ability. I mean, I just have to say, guys, the Lakers should not rule out the idea of thinking to bring in Spencer Dinwiddie as a free agent to join the Los Angeles Lakers. And I mentioned it, his destination is to go to Los Angeles, either going with the Los Angeles Lakers or the LA Clippers. And guys, I'm going to say this now, the LA Clippers and the Lakers, they're dealing with the same issues. I mean, they are dealing with the hard cap type of situation, so they're in the same boat with the Lakers as well. So it's not like, if the LA Clippers can offer Spencer Dinwiddie like 20 million, 20 to 30 million, a year or something like that. So it's not that sort of notion, and I'm not trying to say that, but they're just basically the same thing with the Los Angeles Lakers. They're dealing with their own financial issues as well because they have Kawhi Leonard as well. So they have to re-sign him, and that's how I think that's going to trigger a hard cap for the Los Angeles Lakers, the LA Clippers as well. So, the best destination for the Los Angeles Lakers, Spencer Dinwiddie's best destination for himself is picking the Los Angeles and picking a team between the LA Clippers or the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, that's like his best destination. If there's more money out there for him to get, I mean, by all means, let him go for it, because he's not really going to get the money that he wants with the Los Angeles Lakers or the LA Clippers. He could go to New York possibly, because I believe New York has the most money that they can give out to certain players to build a team around, like who's on that team? I forgot. RJ Barrett and those guys. So they're going to do whatever it takes to get the best players there. So, and why not Spencer Dinwiddie consider, if he wants more money, then he can possibly pick the New York Knicks at that sort of destination. So, but we just have to see what the Brooklyn Nets is going to do. They are willing to grant Spencer Dinwiddie any sort of request that he wants to go to, trade request of a destination that he wants to go to. He's picking the Los Angeles, and he's picking between the Lakers or the LA Clippers. But it's kind of remains to be seen about that. And guys, as I mentioned, the Lakers, financially wise, they're a bit limited. The only higher type of an advantage that they can obviously offer, as I mentioned, to Spencer Dinwiddie is the mid-level exception. That's all they can do. Somewhere around 15 to like 12 million. That's sort of aspect of the Lakers is willing to offer to somebody like Spencer Dinwiddie. And it just sort of depends on what Spencer Dinwiddie wants. And I think he's more likely wants to get paid than going to his preferred destination. And I won't be surprised if he, picks somewhere else. Or I will be surprised if he picks the Los Angeles Lakers. But, it sort of depends, remains to be seen about, his motives and the Lakers, really. I mean, who are they going to be targeting in the free agency market? And, I threw out some names. I made a couple of videos ago about the Lakers offseason plans. I'll put the link to that probably in this video, or maybe at the end of this video. I probably will do it at the end of this video. If you guys please check that video out. I mean, I gave you my thoughts and my opinions about preferred players that are reasonable type of signees that the Lakers can pull off. I made my last video when it came to Carmelo Anthony, and I gave my thoughts and my opinions about that. But, some of you maybe disagree with me, but I really believe Carmelo Anthony could be that guy that the Lakers could potentially, pursue, and could be a solid player on the second unit. I mean, I don't think he's going to start, but, for the second unit behind LeBron James, his best friend, I think it will give him the must boost and motivation to play to the best of his ability on the Los Angeles Lakers if his best friend is on the team in LeBron James. I mean, that's my own personal preference about that. So that's all I really have to say, guys, when it comes to Spencer Dinwiddie. Please give me your thoughts about the Lakers. Do you think the Lakers should pursue Spencer Dinwiddie in free agency, or do you think they should go for someone else? Maybe, or if you guys think so, if somehow they should pursue Spencer Dinwiddie, do you think it should be in a signing trade deal? But I really think it's kind of risky, guys, because of the hard cap. If the Lakers do decide to do a signing trade with Spencer Dinwiddie, I mean, you never know about the intentions of the Brooklyn Nets. They could, offer, sign him to a 23 to maybe $30 million, and the Lakers would do that type of trade scenario, possibly for Kyle Kuzma, and throw in, I mean, maybe another player. I think maybe KCP or something like that. Personally, I don't want a sign and trade deal with the Brooklyn Nets, because that would just make them a bit stronger for next season to be having somebody like Kyle Kuzma on that team. But it's that's my own personal preference. I think the Lakers should pursue Spencer Dinwiddie as a free agent, because it would just give them more of a leverage to offer them whatever, and if he accepts it or not, it just sort of depends on Spencer Dinwiddie and his intentions for free agency. Of if does he want to come back to his hometown in Los Angeles, or does he want to get paid and go somewhere else, possibly the New York Knicks. It sort of depends on Spencer Dinwiddie. And, the Lakers, they just really need to do their homework when it comes to free agency and selecting certain players, to build around LeBron and Anthony Davis for next season. And possibly, the goal in mind is to win, be a winning championship team for next season. So that's my own personal thoughts, guys. Please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, share my videos, and please give me your thoughts about the Spencer Dinwiddie heading to Los Angeles rumors. Do you think it's a good move or not for the Lakers to pursue him? Please comment down below. Make sure to like all of my social media sites, ZSPN on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video, so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, subscribe to the channel. And guys, make sure to subscribe to the ZSPN podcast on Anchor. It is also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker. It is all across of those distribution podcasts out there. I really do appreciate it if you just show me the love, support for my podcast. It is basically the same content that I give you on YouTube, only you can listen to me on podcast now. I mean, it is all the same content. It is just on podcast now, and you can just listen to me there. I really do appreciate you just show me the love, support there, and also like all of my social media sites, and of course subscribe to the channel ZSPN on YouTube. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.